Look at this trading strategy backtest. The returns seem absurd. 56,000%, less than a 50% max drawdown, 400 trades, profit factor of 1.4. You think, oh my gosh, like this thing seems like it's crushing it. But why does it seem like every time you create a strategy like this, it ends up trading something like this? I have seen it countless times. I actually created an ETH initial balance breakout strategy a few months ago and then set it up to forward test. And I have been welcomed to a 20% drawdown, literally with almost no bounces back to the upside. Now, if you've been building out trading strategies and following along in some of our last videos using other LLMs, you might have a similar situation, but you don't even know it yet. This video is probably the most important video you're going to see right now, because if you don't understand why this is happening, it's going to keep happening and you're going to keep spinning your wheels in circles and circles and circles, thinking that you've built out crazy good trading strategies only for them to completely underperform once you actually start trading them live, or dare I say, automating them with a trading bot on AlphaInsider. So in this video, I'm going to break down what is probably happening to your trading strategies once they go from backtest to live, how to test it before you ever risk your own dollars, and then how you can even use Claude to help stress test it, not just build it from the ground up. Let's get into it. At the core, you're probably dealing with something called overfitting. And what overfitting is essentially you have dialed in the settings, because when we're on TradingView, if I pull up this chart, I can go into the settings of my strategy and I can go in, I can change my capital, I can change percent of equity to 100%, but would you actually trade that way? I don't know. I can change the inputs. So for example, this is a very simple example where it's just a simple moving average strategy, and I can change that from 200 to 20 to 50. But for many of our trading strategies, we're going to have many inputs, and we're going to have many variables that we can change. And the thing is, once we start changing those variables, changing those inputs, we're now customizing our strategy. But what we're always doing is we're looking at this backtest and we're trying to create essentially the best return on the backtest. And it makes sense logically because, okay, if we can create the best return on the backtest, so that's probably going to give us the best answer going forward, right? Well, not necessarily, because what we're doing is we're customizing those parameters to the past. We're customizing them to what has already happened, to historical data. Does that mean it's going to happen again? Well, we don't know for sure. It could, but it also might not. The best way to describe it is like memorizing answers for a test. So you took a class, let's say, you failed it, and then you come back the next semester and you're taking the class again. The professor doesn't change the exam, so you have your exam from last semester, and now all you have to do is memorize your answers and then go in and take the test. You don't actually have to learn the material, understand what the strategy is doing, nothing. If you memorize it, you're good. It's also why people have problems when they manually backtest. So if you were to manually backtest and go back in time and say, okay, I'm going to trade my breakout trading strategy and I'm going to trade the S&P. And let's say that you've been doing this, or you've been watching the S&P for the past 6 months because you've been actively trading, but you've been losing. And maybe you're trading like, a dip buy strategy or something like that, for example. You pretty much know what happened. And you might even have some dates memorized over the past 6 months that you're like, oh, there was a huge move today, choppiness during these weeks. And so now when you go and you backtest a new trading strategy on data or on price action that you already experienced, it's not going to be a perfect backtest because you kind of know what's going to happen. Maybe not all the time, but that's going to throw off your results. There's also something called repainting, where essentially if you're using indicators on these strategies, the parameters, the indicators, there might be triggering signals before a close of a candle that you're finding in your backtest, or you're finding that are trading live, but they're actually not matching up from backtest to live, just based on the timing of those signals. We actually made a full video diving deeper into repainting. If you want to check it out, I will leave it linked in the video description box below. So that's overfitting, that's repainting, but there's a couple other things that we need to be aware of before we dive into stress testing with Claude or any other LLM. If we look inside of our strategy on TradingView, there's a settings option. In the properties, we have the ability to put in a cost simulation. So we can put in commissions, we can put in slippage. This is actually crucial. Depending upon what you're trading, you may not have to deal with very much on the commission front. Some platforms are going to have it, some are not going to have it, depending upon what you're trading. If you're trading crypto, you're going to have some commissions. If you're trading stocks on one of the very well-known brokers that are all competing with each other nowadays, you're probably going to have zero commissions. But depending upon if you go into options, other things, there may be some small commissions that add up. But they generally aren't a huge deal nowadays. If you're on the future side, you're definitely going to have to add commissions in there. So you can set from percentage per contract to per order. And then there's an option for slippage. Here's another massive component. We don't really know if we're going to be getting the same fills. So if I am taking a trading strategy from TradingView, waiting for it to fire a signal, and then I am taking that signal on my phone and I am going to go now place the trade, well, what's going to happen in that time frame from when the signal fires on TradingView to when I see the alert and then I go and trade it? Price could move. And if I'm not very quick, I'm going to need to account for some sort of slippage there. The other way we can track this is if we were to send the trade signals from TradingView to AlphaInsider, where AlphaInsider essentially is forward testing the strategy. I'll talk more about that in a second. But now every time a trade fires on AlphaInsider, we're going to see the exact fill. So then what we can do is we can actually go inside of here and check the fill prices and then confirm them with a list of trades on TradingView that they are the same. Or if they're not the same, determine how big of a difference on average they are. We can even download the CSV file here from TradingView. We can even screenshot this and then throw it into Claude, throw it into wherever you want to throw it into, and it's going to determine how big of a gap, what's my slippage on this strategy. And the last thing I should mention is your time frame, your time horizon. So right now I'm going back about 10 years, but if I were to go back just over the past 365 days, well, it's going to give me a backtest. It's going to look kind of weird. Again, it's an example, but I might not have that many trades. So for me, seeing this amount of trades, 69 trades, depending upon the strategy, if it's a swing trade strategy, which this one pretty much is, that's actually okay. That's a good amount of trades in a year, 69 trades. But if it's a day trading strategy and you're like, okay, well, there's 200 something days of active trading in a given year, and this is only trading 69 times, that's not trading that often. Is this enough data for me to really feel confident, or do I need to go back further? And many times what you'll find when you look in these strategies, and I'll actually just use a different example here. So I have this set to Ethereum, but if I were to jump over to, let's just go to like SPY and just see how it would trade a SPY, update the report really quick. It might be okay. No, so this is not that good. But what I do see, this goes back to 2015. So there are periods in time, if I was to go from 2020 until about 2022, well, this would have looked really, really good because this period we're going up. Then there's periods where it looks really bad. So what you find is that if you really dial into a specific time, you might be able to find and create a really good backtest. But then when you zoom out, that edge just doesn't seem as consistent. So what is the answer? How do we fix this stuff? Well, I'm going to go over a way we can prompt Claude to help us. But first, I want to talk more about that forward testing feature from AlphaInsider. So what we can do is we can actually send all of the trade signals the second that they fire on TradingView to AlphaInsider, which is what's being done with this strategy. For example, I've actually stopped trading it because it's a dud. It's not working, clearly. So that's fine, which that's the whole point of why I'm doing this. But as an example, if I go to my portfolio, I've created a bunch of trading strategies over the past couple of weeks, and some of them sucking, some of them and some of them have been doing okay. This one's up 15%, 4%, 3%, 3%, too. Okay, fine. But the clear outlier was this one that was down 20. That one is not doing very well at all. But what's happening with these strategies is every time a trade is being taken, that trade is being match logged, and we are being able to verify that with AlphaInsider. So we're now able to very simply go back in time and say, okay, how is this trading versus my backtest? And then I can see, are we getting very similar fills? Are the same trades being taken? And is my trading strategy that had a beautiful backtest holding up as time goes on in different trading environments, different market regimes, trending markets, consolidating markets, etc. And to be honest, you don't really see people doing this stuff because it's an extra step that does add time, and it does add this like period of like, I now have to wait and see, is this worth my time? But if you have a trading strategy, or you want to kind of build one out over time, or you want to build out more of a portfolio of strategies, this is really important because you're going to figure out which ones do well during trending markets, which ones do well during consolidation markets, which ones do well during like crazy volatility. Like, you're going to have that data for yourself, and you'll be able to see how this stuff plays out, which if you are simply just using a TradingView backtest, you are potentially missing the boat. You can do things like building out a full-on Monte Carlo simulation, which is, you can take the data from here, throw it into that, and then run it through a bunch of stress tests. That's another option you can do as well. But if you're not doing additional stress testing from here, you don't necessarily know that this is going to pan out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Claude, and I'm going to take this strategy. I'm going to go to the Pine editor on TradingView. I believe it is this one. It's very simple, just kind of as an example. And I'm going to copy the strategy, and I'm going to go back to Claude. I'm going to tell Claude, I'm going to paste it in, and I'm going to tell Claude, here's my strategy logic. What are the conditions under which this strategy would fail? What market regimes would it struggle in? And what am I not accounting for with the strategy? Ask that simple prompt. Obviously, this can be taken to many, many different levels and you can dive deeper. And honestly, when I've done this with Claude or any other LLM, what you'll find is that it's going to kind of take you on like a journey almost. And it will kind of examine this area. And then it might bring up a question in your head where you're like, wait a second, the stop loss logic, does that make sense? If I change this, what should I see? Then you can ask it to change the code, replug the code back in. I would create a new strategy. So when you're on TradingView, you have your strategy right here. Go over to this, then click on create new or make a copy, and then put in the new strategy there. Make sure you're modifying it saying V2 or V1, and then you can see how they compare on the exact same asset over the exact same time frame. So essentially, this is a very good trend following strategy. It's a long only strategy, so it's going to do well on uptrends. And if your asset of choice generally has been going up, in the period of time you're backtesting, you're going to see a positive backtest. It then gives me this entire section of what I'm not accounting for. Some of the stuff we talked about, things like slippage, stop loss, and then you can even add in time of day so it only trades during certain periods of time, which you may or may not want to do. You may find that when this thing fires off trades overnight, it almost always loses. Well, then let's not do that. And let's make sure we're only firing off trades during, let's say, New York session. So now I can take this and I can go after one or two of these variables. I would not recommend changing 37 variables at the exact same time because now you have so many different things, you can't really truly see what's making a difference. And I would change one or two variables at a time. And then what I can do is I can now create those different backtests and then I can even set those up as individual trades. So I can go to my portfolio here in AlphaInsider and I can set up long only SMA strategy A, B, C, D, and have all my variations, take some good notes, have my variations, and then forward test them to see which ones are actually doing well, give them enough time, let them trade over a period of time over different market conditions, and then you can have a really good sense of now what was a good backtest and then what was actually trading positively. And then if you have a mismatch that one doesn't match up very well, okay, but if you have a match where the backtest represented very well how it actually trades, well, now you've got more confidence in that strategy. And now you actually might want to trade that one live or even automate it with a site like AlphaInsider. You don't have to, but it just makes it easier because you can create full-blown trading bots with your trading strategies. Most places that allow you to automate trading strategies, like you can automate one strategy on your brokerage account, but think of AlphaInsider as a way to create like these portfolios of different trading strategies that could do different things in different market environments, essentially all in one. Here's an example of an alpaca paper trading bot. And by the way, if you're watching this video very, very shortly, the PDT rule has been dropped. So in the near future, we should be lowering the minimums required to have an alpaca trading bot with live funds. In the past, it was $25,000, but that will be coming down substantially, which is going to be awesome for literally everybody. So you can see I have a bunch of different strategies. I can customize the allocations. And so what I can do is I can almost be like this strategy manager. And I know, okay, this strategy versus this strategy, they all have their strengths in these market environments, and then they have their weaknesses in these market environments. And so when we're in these different environments, I can adjust the allocations to figuring out where I want to put more of my money. And then I can pull back on allocations, even change the strategies out when market environments change. And this is something that I think is really, really useful. And to be honest with you, you don't really see it anywhere. So like always, we'll have a link below to AlphaInsider. But hopefully, whether you use that or not, it's just a way to streamline this process. We have a video that dives deeper into how to connect the TradingView alerts to your portfolio and then ultimately auto trade them. If you wanted to see that, I'll link that up as a video below, or you can find it on the channel. But now you've got a really good idea of like, okay, here's what I have to be paying attention to the next time I go and backtest on TradingView before I consider putting a lot of money behind this thing and trading it live. Any questions, leave them below. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time.